at 45 degrees to VP. Yes, 45 degrees to VP. Draw its projections. So pentagonal lamina of 25 edges is resting on HP with one of its sides such that, so it is resting on HP on one of its sides, means one of its edges. So this is resting on edge case. Okay. And the surface makes an angle of 60 degrees with HP. So theta 60 degrees. The edge on which it rests is inclined at 45 degrees to VP. So the edge on which it is resting on HP, okay, that edge may be AB, BC, we'll see. So that edge is inclined at 45 degrees to VP. So what is this 45 degrees? Is it a true inclination or apparent inclination? Is it phi or is it beta?
Phi.
Exactly. Because it's a true inclination. The edge on which it rests is inclined. It doesn't appear to be inclined. Okay, the edge is inclined. So it is a direct statement. So 45 degrees is a true inclination. So we are dealing with true inclinations. Okay, so here also that locus method needs to be checked whether the problem is a locus method or not. So anyway, we'll start with our regular 3 steps. So first and foremost, XY line, and you need a lot of space, so extend the line as far as possible. VPHP. So we need to draw a pentagon which is resting on HP on an edge. Okay, so that is the condition. So let me just draw the 3D roughly and show you how exactly it looks like. So I'll not draw the 2D. 2D will draw separately. I'll only draw and show you how it looks like in 3 dimensions so that you get an idea. So now you need to tell me which one is correct. So these are the two options, okay, in which the pentagon can be placed. Now, with respect to this problem, which position should I take first? The first one or the second one?
First one, sir.
Exactly. This is the position where it is resting on edge, edge or side, whatever. So the edge under consideration is AB. where? What is this? Yeah, I think now it's clear. I think there is some connectivity issue at home also. Anyway, yeah. So this is resting on edge, where the edge under consideration is AB, whereas this is resting on corner, resting on corner. The corner under consideration is A. Okay, so we need to go ahead with the first case. So this is resting on edge. So you need to draw a pentagon in such a way that the edge AB comes on the left side. Now, second step, you are supposed to incline this pentagon by 60 degrees, I believe. Yeah, 60 degrees to HP. So 60 degrees. So A, B, C, D, E. So this angle here is 60 degrees or your theta angle. So even in this position, AB, it is resting on HP. Okay. And how do you know this? When you project in the front view, you will find that this angle is 60 degrees. And B dash, A dash is on XY line, C dash is above XY line. So this would be the front view. This would clearly indicate the angle and also indicate that since AB is on HP, its front view B dash A dash is on XY line. Okay, so this is the second step. Um Third step is uh, inclination to VP. So the edge on which it is resting on HP, that is AB, the same edge is inclined to VP by what 45 degrees. Yes, 45 degrees. Okay, so that is simple. So the current inclination of AB is 90 degrees with VP, as you can see. That is why a line becomes a point in the front view. So the inclination is 90 degrees. Now this 90 degree, you have to reduce it to 45 degrees. Maybe like this. If you take 45-degree angle like this, yeah, 45-degree angle like this. On this line, you need to place AB. So you have to rotate in the anti-clockwise direction by 45 degrees. So from 90 degree, you have to rotate it and bring it to 45 degrees. So when you do that, then roughly I think A will be here and then B would be here. So this would be the edge AB, like this. A, B, C, D, E. Connectivity. Yeah. So, yeah. So what you'll find is the edge AB on which it is resting on HP is inclined at 45 degrees to VP. Okay, so this is how you need to plan for the first step, the second step, and the third step. Okay. Now we'll draw this in 2D. So first step, you should ensure that um, an edge is on the left, so which is 25 mm. So this is A, B, the edge indicate that it is 25 mm long. Then the other edges, for a pentagon, the include angle, the angle between any two sides or edges of the pentagon, the internal angle is how much?
108 degree.
Yes, 108 degrees. So it's 108 degrees. So 90, 100, 108. Same thing here, 108. So measure 108 degrees at corner A and at corner B to draw the other two edges. So 90, 100, 108. Yeah. So 25. So this is C. 25 mm. So this is E. And now you can do the same 108 degrees and try to locate E, or else you can use a rounder, whatever way you feel comfortable. So what you can do is you can measure this distance 25 mm with your rounder. Okay, measure 25 mm with your rounder with E as center or with C as center. It is up to you. Doesn't matter. So with C as center, you draw an arc here. D. And if you join, you will get your 25 mm line because the arc length that you have taken was also 25. So you can either use this method or you take a protractor and draw from C and E. You draw 25 mm lines at 108 degrees. So any method is okay. So this is the pentagon. Front view. I'll have to draw one, two, three vertical projectors to get the front view. So one for AB, one for CE, and one for D. So three vertical projectors, and as you know, they are going to intersect here at the XY line. So you can mark those points and join them by
So
a
can you
straight.
explain it once again that how to cut it?
What? No, that is optional. If you want, you can cut. Otherwise, you can use your the same protractor at 108 degrees. So what I've done is I've measured this 25 mm, the edge length, and with ES center, I've made an arc. With CS center, I've cut the arc. So basically, what you're doing is 25. It is just like you're taking 25 mm lines and making it to cut each other. So this is called locating the distance with the help of arcs and with the help of the rounder. The other way around is you can take this protractor and keep it at C and draw a line at 25 mm line at 108 degrees. Take the protractor, keep it at E, draw a 108 degree line at uh, 25 mm line at 108 degrees. That also will give you the same. Okay. So you got these lines, these points. You can name them. First one is B dash A dash. Second is C dash E dash. Third is D dash. Please note down the length of this line. Measure the length of the front view because in the second step you have to incline this. So if I'm not wrong, it is coming to around 37 mm. So 37 mm is the length of the front view. What I'll do is second step, as you had seen in 3D, you have to keep AB, that is B dash A dash, on XY line and incline this 37 mm line at 60 degrees. So I'll keep B dash A dash, leave some gap, some 10-15 mm gap. Place B dash A dash on XY line because AB is on HP, and then redraw this 37 mm line at 60 degrees. That will take care of your theta. So mark 60 degrees with the protractor, keeping this point as reference, B dash A dash on XY line. So 60, 40, 50, 60. It comes here. So draw a 37 mm line at 60 degrees. So the length of this line is 37. This corner is D dash, and now you need to locate C dash E dash also. So you can measure the length from B dash A dash to C dash E dash, which is around 23 mm. Yeah, and locate it here. This step is very important. Otherwise, you will not be able to locate C dash E dash. Okay. So from B dash A dash to C dash E dash, you have 23 mm. If you want, you can mention it here. And that same length you can replicate here and locate C dash E dash at 23 mm. And don't forget to show the angle 60 degrees. Now draw the projections. Uh, Three vertical projectors from the front view and how many horizontal projectors from the top view? So three vertical projectors. How many horizontal projectors will you draw?
So 5.
Exactly. Because none of them are coinciding, as you have here in this case, or in this case. Each will have its own projector. Okay. So you have five horizontal projectors because there is no coincidence between the points. None of them are on the same line. They are all on different levels. Three, four, five. So five horizontal projectors. Now you have to mark the intersection points A, B, C, D. So start with A. So intersection of A dash and A. This is A, this point. So you have to be very careful here because if you see 5 by 3, there are 15 intersection points here. 3, 3, 3, 3, 3. 15 intersection points are there. Out of 15, you have to locate 5. So you have to be very careful when you are locating the intersection points, otherwise, the shape will be totally distorted. So A dash and A, then B dash and B. So this point is B. C dash and C. This is C. D dash and D. This is D. E dash and E. This is E. And you will be able to locate it correctly if you are drawing it yourself. If you are not drawing, if you are just sketching roughly or just observing, then all these things you will get to know only when you attempt the exam. And that will be too late. So please practice. As I am drawing, you also need to draw. Join all the intersection points A, B, C, D. You will get, uh, I wouldn't say it is a pentagon now, a shrunk polygon which has got five sides. Uh, yeah. So as I was saying, you will get what do you say, a shrunk pentagon. It appears that the pentagon is on a diet. It has shrunk compared to the first step. But we cannot call this a pentagon because all the sides should have 25 mm. The angle should be 108 degrees, which is not the case in this. So this is a polygon which has got five sides. It is no more a pentagon in the second step top view. You want, you can measure. You tell me out of these five edges, which is still 25 mm in true length.
AB, sir.
ABC.
Yes, AB is the only edge. And why? Why is that? Because AB is the only edge which is on HP and parallel to HP. None of these BC, CD, ED, or AE, none of these are parallel to HP. That is why all of them have reduced in length. Only AB remains 25 mm, true length. That is what you are seeing here. And if you see these angles are also not 108 degrees. I think they are more. You can measure them. Yeah, what I'm seeing is they are almost like 100 and what 120, yeah, 120 degrees. Has increased. So this is what happens in the second step, top view. Third step, this AB, the edge on which it is resting on HP, AB is inclined at 45 degrees to VP. Now, as you have seen, 45 degrees is the true inclination phi. So now tell me, if this is the 45 degrees line and phi is the true inclination, what should come on this 45 degree line? This AB, should it be in its true length or apparent length?
True length.
Yes, it should be in its true length. So now you need to tell me, if I draw a 45 degree line like this, you mark any point here, and draw at 45, so roughly here. So draw the 45 degree line. So now, if I place AB here, then that AB should be in its true length. Now tell me, in the second step top view, is this AB in its true length? 25 mm?
Yes, sir.
Yes. So can you place it directly here? Yes. So is this a locus problem? Should you use the locus method here? No. There is no need. The locus comes when you are not able to place it directly. If this AB reduces in length, like what has happened to the other edges, and that AB you are trying to place here, you cannot do that because it is an apparent length and you're trying to place it on a true inclination, which is not allowed. But you can place a true length, which is 25 mm, on a true inclination. That is perfectly allowed. So this is not a locus problem. This is a direct, straightforward problem. Okay. So it is not a locus problem. So what you have to do is you have to rotate this entire pentagon and rotate it by 45 degrees in the anti-clockwise direction. So when you do that, what you'll find is you need to start with A, because as you have seen in the 3D view, A is the edge which is very near to the XY line. So this is the first edge. Then B comes below it. So you need to start with A. But you should also ensure that you don't start with A like this. See what will happen if you put A here. I'll show you. Some students make these mistakes. They take A very near to XY line. Okay. Locating B will not be a problem because B is below. But just see what is going to happen to E. E may come somewhere here above XY line, which is wrong. You cannot. No portion of the top view should go above XY line. So don't do this. Leave some gap. You have to leave sufficient gap so that no portion of this top view goes above XY line. So please be very careful. Otherwise, you may have to redraw the things. What I'll do is you have to take it sufficiently below, say here. I think this is okay. A. Locate A. And A to B, the length is 25 mm. So measure that and locate B here at 25 mm below A on that 45 degree line. So maybe somewhere here. So this is B. This is AB. Now you can use your rounder and locate the other three edges, that is C, D, and E, other three corners. How to do that? So you have to set your rounder to this distance. For example, you want to locate C. So what I'll do is from B to C, I'll measure this length. It is not 25, it is less than 25. So whatever it is, you measure the length. And then from B, you just make an arc towards the right side. Then what I'll do is I'll again use the same, because I know that A to E is of the same distance, so I'll not waste time. From A, I will again draw an arc on the left side, because BC and AE are of the same length. So I'll make two arcs, and then what I'll do is from B, or let us say from A, I'll measure the distance A to C. You can either measure A to C, or you can measure B to E, both are same. Measure this, and then from A, you go and cut this arc. From B, you go there and cut this arc. So what you are doing is you are trying to locate C and E with respect to AB. Okay, so what I've done is, first I have measured this BC or AE, whatever you want, you can take first. I measured this BC or AE, and with B as center, I have made this arc at C and from A here on the left side. And then I've used the rounder again. This time I have measured from A to C, the distance, or from B to E, the distance, and I have cut these arcs. So what I've done is I have measured the distance of the point C from B and from A. I have measured the distance of the point E from A and from B. And I have located with the help of arcs, intersection of the arcs, by using the rounder. So this is called relative. You are trying to locate a position, a point with respect to the given 2 points. So in this case, I know AB, A and B, I know where it is exactly. So with respect to A and B, I'm trying to locate E. With respect to A and B, I'm trying to locate C. So this is how you can do with the help of the rounder. Now, once more, I'll apply the same thing with respect to C and E. I will locate D. So what I'll do is, I'll take the rounder again. This time, from C to D, whatever is the distance, I'm going to measure that. C to D, whatever is the distance, I'm going to measure and I'm going to make an arc. E to D will be the same distance. I'll take and put it at E and cut the arc. So this point is D. So what I've done is, with respect to C and E, I have located D. C and D, I have located D. So if you join them, you will get the second step top view inclined at 45 degrees in the third step. So this is how you need to locate the points. Some students may not be comfortable with this rounder. If you are not, no problem. What you have to do is, you keep your protractor here at A and find out the angle of AE, say 120 degrees. Then find out the length of AE, say it may be 18 mm. So draw an 18 mm line at 120 degrees. Done. You can locate E. Same thing, BC. The angle will be same 120 degrees. The length will also be 18 mm. So you draw a 120-degree line and limit it to 18 mm. We'll get C. Then again use the rounder and you can cut it. So using protractor or using rounder is left to you. Whichever you feel is better and faster, that is what you need to use. The last step, final front view. So this is the final top view. So you can write it somewhere real. Final top view. Now we need to draw the final front view. So three horizontal projectors from the second step front view and five vertical projectors from the third step top view. They will intersect and give you the third step front view, the final front view. So 1, 2, and 3. So 1 is on XY line, so we need not draw that. So 3 horizontal projectors. And yeah, here I will tell you one important thing. No, what do you say? Something that will help you to reduce the confusion that happens here. See, you have three horizontal projectors. Now, blindly, if you draw 5 vertical projectors, you will have 15 intersection points, just like you had here. And locating 5 out of them may be a bit confusing. So, what I generally recommend in such cases is that you draw the projectors one by one and only till the point it is required. For example, I will draw the projector of A, the vertical projector of A. So please observe how I draw. I'll draw it only till this XY line, slightly above XY line. You know why? Why I am not drawing it till the top? Because the front view of A, where is it? On XY line, isn't it? Is there A above XY line? Here, here, or here? Then why I should project it till there? There is no need. Got my point? So you need to project a line till where it intersects or slightly more till the location of the horizontal projector. Now I don't find A dash anywhere on the top. A dash is on XY line. So I'll extend this till XY line only. And this I know is A dash. Done. So one by one you locate and finish it off. Don't draw 5 lines and then see 50 intersection points and then try to figure out. It may lead to confusion. So this is what I generally advise to the students, and many of the students follow this to avoid the confusion. So now B. Now you see, I am going to project the vertical projector of B again till XY line only. Why? Because B dash is on XY line. Why I should project it till the top? So this is B dash. Done. Same way, C. C dash I have to project above XY line till here, but not till the top. Why? Because you find C dash is here. So till here, if I project, this point is C dash. Now D. D I'll have to project till the top. Why? Because the projector of D dash is right at the top. So I'll have to project till the topmost intersection point. So this is D dash. Finally, E dash, I will have to project it till the second projector above XY line till here. So this point is E dash. So you see, easily you can project it without confusion. Otherwise, if you blindly project 5, then 5 by 3, you'll have 50 intersection points and you have to locate them. That may lead to some confusion. To avoid this, you can use this particular method. It's entirely subjective. It's up to you. Now you can join these five intersection points and locate the or draw the final front view. The final top view and final front view, you can draw it a bit dark because they are the main steps which have to be highlighted. Otherwise, you can keep it a bit light. So this is your final front. Here. Now, these type of problems are also asked, but very rarely. The common problems that are asked in pentagon and even in hexagon are problems which involve a certain level of complexity. This is a very straightforward problem. So we'll have cases where yes, the pentagon will be resting on HP in the first step. It will be inclined to HP by 60 degrees or theta angle in the second step. And when that happens, an edge will be on HP. That is also correct. But in the third step, instead of just simply giving this inclination to VP, the things may change. What may be given is, say, one of the edges is on HP and the opposite corner, that is the corner D, is on VP. This is a very common problem statement that is asked. So it is just like one edge on HP and the opposite corner on VP. This type of problem. Okay, so I think I need to discuss that because that is important. You find in almost a lot of question papers that type of problem is asked. Hmm. Yes. So what I'll do is I'll use the same because the first two steps remain the same. There is a change in the third step. So I'll just extend this and I'll show you what happens exactly. And in fact, these problems don't take much time. Resting on HP, one edge on HP, opposite corner on VP. If you understand the concept, you can draw it faster than what you've done in this initial problem. Yeah. Yes. So please ignore this step. Okay. So the problem statement would be same as you had here. You will have a pentagonal lamina of 25 mm sides resting on HP, one of its sides such that the surface makes an angle of 60 degrees with HP. All this is going to remain same. However, this statement will not be there. The second one, the edge on which it rests is inclined at 45 degrees to VP. No. Instead of this statement, instead of this, what you will be having is I lost the connection. Hmm. So, what I was saying is the first step and the second step would remain the same. The statement would be same. This portion of the statement will be different. Here, earlier you had the edge on which it rests is inclined at 45 degrees to VP. Instead of this, what you'll have is one of the edge is on HP and the opposite corner is on VP. This would be the statement. Okay. So this statement will be changed to this. Other things remain the same. Absolutely no change. So in this case, theta will definitely be 60 degrees. There will not be any phi because 45 degrees to VP is not there. So only angle you have is theta. So the first step and the second step are same as you have seen here. So you have to keep the pentagon on HP, and in the second step you have to incline the pentagon by 60 degrees, and while doing so you have to keep the edge AB on HP. No change. Third step will not be this. However, what is asked is one of the edges is on HP and the opposite corner is on VP. So now if you observe here, this pentagon in the second step, this is the edge AB which is on HP. What is the corner opposite to AB? What is the corner? The corner opposite to AB, which is this corner? You're able to hear me? The corner opposite to AB is D. This is the corner. And this corner should be on VP, whereas this edge AB should be on HP. That is a condition that is given. So the edge is on HP and the opposite corner is on VP. So how do you achieve this condition? Please observe. I'll have to rotate this pentagon in the second step in such a way that I have to rotate it, I think, by 90 degrees. So if you rotate by 90 degrees, what you'll get is something like this. A, B, A, B, C, D, E. Now you tell me which is the edge which is on HP? AB on HP. Which is the corner which is touching VP? This is what is going to happen. Edge is on HP. Corner opposite corner. The corner opposite to AB is D. This corner will be on VP. This is what happens. So you have to reposition by rotating this by 90 degrees and then moving it forward till the corner D touches VP. So this is what is expected of you in this problem. Okay. So what you have to do is this second step top view, you have to rotate by 90 degrees so that this small d is on xy line. Now why is that? Tell me, where is the top view of D? The top view of D is on xy line, isn't it? So I am going to use that because we know that from our basics of points, any point which is on the vertical plane, where is its top view? Its top view is on xy line. So if I say that the point D or the corner D is on VP, its top view small d is on xy line. So my objective is to put this small d, the top view, on xy line. So I will rotate by 90 degrees and place the corner D on xy line and redraw the remaining things. Okay, so please observe. Um, so what I'll do is I'll start with D here. I'll just mark a point D on xy line, and then around it I have to draw A, B, C, and E. Okay, so if you want, I can show it in 3D also, not an issue. Just like I have drawn the top view of D, I'll draw the top view of the others also. You know, top view of A and B are the same points. This is small a, this has to be small b because A and B are on HP. Now C and D, I have to draw the top view. That's all. So this is small c, and this is small e. Sorry, small e. If I join all these, A, B, C, D, E, and this is the top view that I get. Please observe carefully. So nothing but your pentagon that you get in the second step. But the important thing is the corner D. The corner D is on XY line. That is important. Okay, that is why I have to put the second step top view, rotate it by 90 degrees and put it here. Such a way that the corner D is on XY line. And then redraw the other points A, B, C, and E. So first I'll mark corner D on XY line, and then I'll try to locate A, B, C, and E. Now there are different ways of locating. What you can do is what you can do is you can measure this distance. You can say that this is A, B, C, D, E. You can call this as F. The midpoint of AB, you can call it as F. You can measure this distance D to F. it is coming around 20 mm. So I can draw a perfectly vertical line. So this is D. I can draw a line which is 20 mm long, and I can locate F. So DF, DF. Okay. Then what I can do is at F, F is the midpoint of AB. So F will be at 12.5 mm because AB is 25 mm. So F will be at 12.5 mm. So what I'll do is I'll keep this 12.5 mm at F, and I will draw 12.5 mm to the left and 12.5 mm to the right. So what do I get? I get a 25 mm long line. Also along with that, I will get corners A and corners B. Got it? So please observe the approach that I am following. First, I have located the midpoint of AB, F, and then I have found out the distance between D and F, which is coming to around 20 mm. So this 20 mm becomes a vertical line. So what I'll do is from D, I'll measure 20 mm and I'll locate F. F is the midpoint of AB. So from F to A 12.5, from F to B 12.5. So I'll measure the distance and I'll keep 12.5 mm F, locate 12.5 to the left, 12.5 to the right, I'll get A and B. Now you're left with C and E. You can locate that with the help of a rounder. For example, you want to locate C. So from B to C, in the second step top view, I'll locate this B to C, I'll measure and I'll make an arc here. Then what I'll do is from D to C, from D to C, I'll measure and I'll cut this arc. So what I'll be getting is C. Same way, I can locate E. With respect to B and D, I can locate E. So what I'll do is from D, I'll measure this distance D to E and I will make an arc here. Okay. And from A to E, I'll measure and cut the arc. So this is how I can locate and find out C and E with respect to maybe A and D or B and D. It is up to me. With respect to any 2 points, I can locate the third point with the help of the rounder. Now if I join them, I'll be getting this the second step top view in the third step such a way that the corner D is on XY line. And I'll extend this XY line So this is exactly what I had got in the 3D view, if you see. Now all I have to do is project. So 5 vertical projectors and 3 horizontal projectors. Please don't refer this third step because this belongs to a different problem. You have to directly project from the second step here. Okay. So I can show you that. So projector 1, 2 and 3 of course is on the XY line. Now one by one you can draw the projectors of A, B. As I told you, both are on XY line. So I will not extend it beyond XY line. So this is A dash, B dash. C I will extend till this distance because C dash is here. So this would be C dash. D is the topmost, so I'll extend till the top. This is D dash. E is again till the mid, so I'll extend till here. Now if I join all these, I'll get the final front view. So this is the case where one of the edge is on HP and the opposite corner is on VP. So this is the third step. Now how do I know it is correct? You can cross check. See if any edge is on HP, okay, then you can say that AB is on HP. Then its front view, as we know, any point that is on HP, where is its front view? On XY line. Just check whether you're getting. Yes. AB, if you project A dash and B dash, is on XY line. So this indicates that the edge AB is on HP. The opposite corner, that is D, is on VP. We know that any point or any corner that is on VP, where is its top view? On XY line. So is D the top view on XY line? Yes. So A dash B dash is on XY line, indicating that the edge is on HP. D is on XY line, indicating that the corner is on VP. This is the correct solution. So if this problem is asked, then this is the small change that would be there in the statement. Instead of 45 degrees to VP, this would be mentioned. This is how you need to take care of such problems. So what you find is basically the first two steps are common in most of the problems. On HP, inclined to HP. It remains the same, only the inclination may change a bit. Instead of 60, it may be 40, 45. Third step is where all these conditions start coming. Okay. I think I need to show you one more problem, uh, very similar to this. But again, as I said, in the third step, it is again different. Because here, what is mentioned is the edge on which it is resting on HP, it also touches VP. Hmm. That is what is mentioned there. Okay, I think we'll take a slightly different problem and we can solve that. So quickly, let us take down the statement. First two steps will be same, but anyway, we'll solve it completely. So the statement goes like this. You have a pentagonal lamina of 25 mm sides. Pentagonal lamina of 25 mm sides is having a side both on HP and VP. Is having a side both on HP and VP. The surface of the lamina. Now here I think we can make a small change instead of going by the same. What we can do is go. We can slightly change the corner opposite, the corner opposite to the side on which it rests, to the side on which it rests is 15 mm above HP. Is 15 mm above HP. So instead of giving you the angle directly, this 15 mm above HP is given. So I'll show you how to use that. Draw the top and front views of the lamina. Draw the top and front views of the lamina. So this is a statement. So a pentagonal lamina, 25 mm sides, having a side both on HP and VP. This is very important. This will define your third step. A side both on HP and V means a side is touching HP as well as VP at the same time. The corner opposite to the side on which it rests is 15 mm above HP. So the angle is not given. The distance of the corner above HP is given. So we need to see how to handle this. So the 3D will be like this. Same as, I think third step there will be a change. First two steps would be more or less the same. So first step same as you had in the previous problem. Side on HP and towards the left. So A, B, C, D, E, and AB is on HP basically. So AB is on the left side. Second step is like this. The edge is on HP. Read the statement. The corner opposite to the side on which it rests is 15 mm above HP. So the corner opposite to the side on which it rests. So the side on which it is resting is AB. What is the corner opposite to AB? D. This corner D is 15 mm above HP. So it would be somewhat like this. So this distance of the corner D from HP is 15 mm. Got it? So instead of giving you the angle, this distance is given. Now, how to make use of this? Just observe the front view. This distance, 15 mm. The distance of the corner D, that means D dash in the front view above XY line is 15 mm. And using this, you can find the theta angle, whatever is the angle. This is a case where the angle is not given directly. However, the distance of the opposite corner from XY line or from HP is given, which is 15 mm. So slightly different approach. Okay. However, in this case also, AB is on HP, so there is no change. Third step is interesting because generally, see, you will have inclined to VP and all, but in this case, you're not finding anything. What you're finding is the pentagonal lamina of 25 mm sides is having a side both on HP and VP. This is important. A side both on HP and VP. That means one side is touching HP and VP at the same time. So in this first and second step, do you find any side which is touching VP and HP at the same time? I don't. What I find is AB is touching HP. That is what I find. So it is only touching HP. It is not touching VP. So what I should do in the third step is rotate this second step in such a way that this AB should touch VP also. So where do you think I should put this edge AB if it is supposed to touch VP and HP at the same time? I've given you the hint. So this is A, this would be B. Of course, it is a bit difficult to draw. So basically, AB should be on XY line. If AB is on XY line, then you say that the edge AB is touching VP, it is touching HP at the same time. So you have to relocate, reposition this second step and maybe rotate in the clockwise direction again by 90 degrees and reposition it in such a way that AB is on XY line. That way, AB will be touching VP, it will be touching HP also at the same time. I'll try to draw, but I don't think I'll be able to draw it properly because of the inclination. Yeah, I'll try anyway. A, B, C, D, E. Now you may feel that it looks as if it is on HP, but it is not so. There is a gap of 15 mm. The corner D is 15 mm above HP. Got it? So you have to reposition the second step. You have to rotate it in such a way that you rotate it in the clockwise direction by 90 degrees. So A will be on the right, B will be on the left, and AB will be on XY line. So it will be touching VP and HP at the same time. And other things, C, D, and D will be located like this. And of course, D, since in the second step itself it was 15 mm above, third step also it will be 15 mm above HP. Now the question is, yes, in the 3D it is not very clear, but I can make it clear if I draw the side view. Just observe. I'll draw the side view of this. So let us say it intersects maybe here and here. So this point is T double dash. This point is C double dash E double dash. Take this as Y. So this is B double dash A double dash. If I join all these, now can you see the 15 mm? The side view. Can you see this theta angle? The side view, whatever is the theta angle here, same thing will be shown here also. And AB in the side view is coming here, means AB is on XY line. So this is a proof that whatever are drawn here, the corner D is 15 mm above HP. Okay. So now let us quickly try to draw this in 2D. First two steps will be same. Second step is where you have to be careful. The first step, now change 25 mm. So A, B, 108 degrees, all that has to be done.
So that's 120 degree, no? Or
108 degrees. Pentagon. 108. 108. 108 degrees. and I'll measure 25 mm with the rounder. Yeah, so this is C and this is E. Now I'll try to find D. With respect to C and D, 25 mm away. This is D. First step, please mention the edge length. As we have done 3 vertical projectors, no change in that. B dash, A dash, D dash, C dash, E dash. Length will be same, I think, 37 mm. Length of the front view. Isn't it? It was 37. Yeah, it will be same because 25 mm edge is same. So the second step, what you have to do is you have to place again B dash A dash on XY line. There is no change because AB is on HP. However, we used to draw the angle using protractor. Now we cannot do that because angle is not given. What is given is the corner opposite is 15 mm above HP. So D dash is 15 mm above. So what I will do is 15 mm above XY line. So 15 mm above you measure with the scale. So somewhere here, 15 mm above, you have to draw maybe a locus line or horizontal reference line, whatever you can call it. 15 mm above, you need to draw this. And then take a rounder, measure 37 mm. That is the length of the front view. Yeah, measure 37 mm. With B dash A dash as center, radius 37 mm, cut this horizontal reference line. So you may cut it here. So this point is D dash. Now if you join B dash, A dash and D dash, you will get a 37 mm line, that is a front view, inclined by some angle, which is the theta angle, 15 mm above XY line or 15 mm above HP. And I think the theta angle also you can find out, it will be around 23, 24 degrees. Yeah, 24, I believe. 24 or 25 degrees roughly. So it will be around 24 degrees. So this is how the angle is not given. However, the distance is given. Both amount to same. Doesn't matter. In some cases, angle will be given. Some cases, distance will be given. So this is how you have to proceed. And most importantly, please don't forget, C dash E dash has to be located 23 mm away. Don't forget that. Otherwise, you won't be able to locate C and E. C dash E dash. Now our process remains the same. 3 vertical projectors. No change in that. Five horizontal projectors. 1, 2, 3, Mark the intersection points. A dash and A, this is A. B dash and B, this is B. C dash and C, this is C. D dash D, this is D. E dash E, this is E. Join them, all of them. So we will get a shrunk shape of a pentagon, which is not a pentagon, of course, it is a polygon having 5 sides. In this case also, the only edge which is still 25 mm is AB. You can measure the other 4 edges, they will be less than 25. You can check it out. Here you can see 22, 23 mm. AB is the only edge which is still 25 because AB is the only edge which is still parallel to HP, as you can see in this 3D. AB is parallel to HP, that is why it is 25. None of the other edges are parallel. So first two. Last step, you have to place AB on XY line. Simple. So you rotate it in the clockwise direction. So that is a change here. Clockwise direction by 90 degrees so that A is on the right, B is on the left, and AB is on XY line. So what you do is some distance away you can locate A first or B, whatever. You can locate say B here because B will be on the left, and 25 mm away can locate A. This is what happens. AB should be placed on XY line. Okay, then CDE you have to locate with the help of rounder or whatever. Okay, so for example, I want to locate D. I'll show you how to do that with respect to A and B. So from A, I'll measure the distance of D with the help of the rounder. Okay, then from A, I'll make an arc. From B, I'll measure distance from B to D. Same distance I'll take here. From B, I'll cut the arc. So this point would be D. Got it? Same way you can locate C and D. I'll do that. B to E. Where is B? B to E. A to E. Then from D to E, I can measure the remaining distance. Yeah. And cut these arcs. Here and here. So this is C, this is D, this is E. If you join them, you will get the second step top view inclined by 90 degrees or repositioned by 90 degrees in the third step with its edge AB on XY line. That's it. This is your final top view. Now you project. So three horizontal projectors, five vertical projectors. They will intersect and give you the final front view. This is a regular procedure. Nothing new in this. You'll get it easily. So three horizontal and five vertical. You can do it one by one. So now the point to be noted here is there is no need to project A and B because you see B dash A dash is on XY line, AB is also on XY line. So where you want to project, you cannot project. So keep AB there only, no projectors. C, D and D, you can have some three projectors basically. So mark the points, intersection of A and A dash, same point. So this is the beauty of this problem. B and B dash, same point. So you can see here, A dash, B dash and AB are at the same location. A dash and B dash are above XY line, AB is below XY line. That's all. The edges A dash, B dash is on XY line. This indicates that the edge is on XY line. That is why the front view is on XY line, the top view is also on XY line. And that is what we wanted because we wanted a side both on HP and VP. We got it. Since the side is on HP, its front view is on XY line. Since the side is on VP, its top view is on XY line. That is what we have got here. So please observe this step. And of course, C, C dash, this is C dash, D, D dash, this is D dash, E, E dash, this is E dash. Join them. You'll get your final front view. So I'll be giving you, I think, maybe a couple of problems for the assignment so that you practice. Maybe one on square, one on rectangle, and one on pentagon. Two, three problems I'll give you. I think I'll put it in the Google Classroom. You can solve that and keep it. So Monday's class, we'll start with hexagon and see the same cases resting on HP, inclined to HP. One edge on HP, opposite corner on opposite edge on VP, or one corner on HP, opposite corner on VP. All those cases we can see. So you can put your attendance and you can leave. If you have any doubts, you can ask.